Coming out here today, I wanted to talk a little bit about this Mahindra HST eMax 20S. And yeah, you might be surprised, man. So you can see this thing has done a little bit of work. That green cone just signals where my clean out is, or at least my, well, it's actually a leaching pit. Got a couple of flags, one there, one there. That's just marking out irrigation, another one over there. So changing the grade, changing the level. We've got garden soil right there, which is basically just topsoil that's been cleared off of this area right here. You can see the sand mountain is gone. Yeah, I'm gonna shut this thing off. You'll be surprised. This tractor right here, right? It is just a little Mahindra eMax. But this little Mahindra eMax has done so much work that, I mean, man, if you were thinking about doing something like this by hand, good luck. So anyway, so this is just a backtrack update, but it's also talking about this Mahindra eMax eMax 20S. It's got the 23B backhoe, which you can see is definitely taking its use and abuse, which is exactly how this machine should be looking right now. It has the 23L front bucket, which is this right here. Same thing, used and abused. I want to say, man, more used and abused in a good way, though. This thing, man, I'm telling you, if you're thinking about getting one of these machines, whether it's a Deere or whatever, I'm 100% thrilled with this thing. One major thing, pay attention to all your grease points. So obviously on the front here, basically I guess how you look at it is every point that you see through the side right here, you're going to times it by 2 on the opposite side. But don't forget to give it a second look. So anyways, what I can do though is I can double at least on this one side right here. So you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So what that means is that it's basically doubled. When I say 12, it's because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Obviously, 6 times 2 in this scenario actually does equal 12. And then you come over here, and I think the way to look at it is everything that's a pivot point, everything that has basically a rod going through it with a piston or an arm is basically an area that gets grease. So everything that has these little posts or these little pins that come through, these are sections that have grease. So even when you're looking at this, we've got 4 pivot points here. We have 1 where the piston is, 2 where the arm is, 3 where the arm is, 4 where the bucket is. So just that section right there, that's 4. And you have to sometimes search for where the grease fitting is, and you also want to make sure that you clean everything out. One thing I will tell you, paper towels are definitely going to be your friend. I wouldn't use a rag because, yeah, I just don't bother using a rag. Just use paper towels. If you want to dispose of them in the right way, burn them. Whatever you want to do, just get rid of them. So we've got 4 just on this section of the bucket. We have 1, and you have to articulate sometimes to get to certain little fittings and certain little sections. Make sure you always clean off all your excess. I'll clean that off. When you're pumping the grease in, you do want to make sure that it starts coming out both sides. So we've got 4, 5, 6, 7. That's just on that section of the boom. 8, 9. We have this large pivot point right here. 10. There is another one hidden right here. You got to remember that this is not a through bolt. This isn't a through section. So you've got a top and you have a bottom pivot point. So where are we? 11. Then at this pivot point right here, 12. Right there. Then at this pivot point right here, you have 13. Right, where is it? Right there, 13. But then wait, we're not done yet. Because that pivot's on a piston, what do you got right there? Lucky number, am I up to 14 now? I don't even know how many I'm at. It's either 13 or 14 fittings. I think I'm just going to count it right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then obviously 14 for that piston that's right there. Like I was saying, greasing your tractor, greasing all those pivot points is a major thing. The other thing that's pretty major is making sure you check your oil, making sure you check your fluids. When you're running on dirt, a lot of things get covered. Dust covers things up, but also what dust will do is it'll attach to what's called wet points. So you can kind of gauge how your tractor's doing by by seeing if you have any wet points. Now, I have 0 wet points in here. So I have checked the oil, I have checked the air cleaner. When you get a tractor, or when you get a piece of equipment, or if you get an RC car, even when you buy your own car, like a real car or a truck, go over stuff. Don't just assume that what you're buying is mint. Now, this actually is mint, except for one thing. So while we're looking at the air cleaner right here, this is the air cleaner top, the actual air filament, the element is actually inside. So I popped out this clip, and I knew that there was going to be another one on the other side, which is right there. Guess what? That one was not even connected. What I mean by not even connected, it wasn't even strapped. So there is a certain amount of just maintenance stuff that, well, let's say it this way. There's a certain amount of maintenance and checking that you should be doing before you just jump in and pop the key on. Check your oil. Well, you don't have to check your air filter like daily, but check your oil daily. Check your fuel filter. So this is a diesel. It's a 3-cylinder diesel, and the filter is right there for the fuel. This is actually this is an on-off. This is a shut-off for the fuel. So just keep stuff like that in mind. I will be cleaning this engine compartment. Not today, but eventually. Once I'm done doing this amount of work, you can see that this is a huge undertaking in a sense for seemingly such a little tractor. But what you got to keep in mind, right, is don't overwork the machine. If the machine is struggling, back off just a little bit. Also, make sure you got your throttle up. So if you don't have your throttle up on the machine, that could cause a problem because you're not giving the machine a chance. Now, I'm not saying like, get in there and, go full bore. Especially on a brand new machine, I'd say that there's a certain amount of break-in procedure or break-in like time frame. I'm not sure what that is, but what I did is I went I think it was like 10 hours of not going to full throttle. And that's a lot, but now I'm at full throttle. So when I do an oil change, which I think I'm going to just go at maybe 40 hours, once I get to that 40-hour mark, I'm going to do an oil change. I'm going to go as full synthetic. So I figure the oil that's inside is most likely just a regular oil. The oil is still clean, so maybe I should go 50 hours. I don't know. I kind of want to get that oil out of there and throw some new stuff in. So anyways, yeah, man, a lot of work, but I'm telling you, this tractor is awesome. If you're considering getting one of these eMaxes so far, granted, like I said, I'm only at 36 hours. That's still a good amount of time. Flawless. This thing has been flawless. We haven't had wheels coming off. We haven't had any bolts popping off. Everything is tight. I have gone over things. There's only one thing that comes loose, but that's from vibration. And all I got to do is I just got to lock down this lock nut. It was funny. I was going to put my Hurst T-handle on here. I think I might switch this out to a shift ball. Just because. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's not a shifter, but I think it would look funny with a 4-speed ball in there. So anyways, I'm out. What are you doing? You know what? I think I'm going to set up the GoPro on the ROPS bar. Why is that called a ROPS bar? It's just called rollover protection. So I don't know why it's called a ROP bar. I guess it's just easier saying ROP. So Yeah, and you know what's cool? It does fit in that trailer. So anyways, yeah, that's it. Just an update from RC Guy Garage. And now if you want to see this machine in action, I'm going to put a GoPro on there. We're going to see how this goes. I don't know, whatever. It's going to be funny. So obviously what this is this is a very rough grading of soil that hasn't been, like, you know, it hasn't been manicured. So the only time when you're back dragging like that, you come into issues is when you have big boulders like that. So something like this, what it does is it causes the blade to obviously hop. Boulders, same thing. You can see where the boulders are, how it starts to skip. So, but this is just what's called a very rough grading. Just bringing the soil in and then just kind of bringing it down to a rough grade. And then I'll do some final grading once I get all like the big rocks and roots and all that junk that's in there that's causing, you know, the blade to skip too much. So this is just how I do it. I've graded a few properties in my lifetime, but working with this little Mahindra tractor, I'm telling you right now, this thing is great. I mean, would I have wanted to do this all by hand? No. And if somebody did, they're out of their minds, especially nowadays. We aren't in the 1920s anymore. So anyways, this is RC Guy Garage, and this was just a little bit of the Mahindra eMax, what is it again? eMax 20S. Hey, look at that. This is just of the Mahindra HST eMax 20X, 20S with the 23L loader and the 23B backhoe. Yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, obviously other equipment that's a little bit bigger and, you know, can more manhandle things, but when you look at what this property has gone through, I mean, look how much grade we have brought this down. I've been able to make all of this material that was all in here, I've been able to make all of that material disappear by properly regrading the ground. But anyways, I'm out. You should get out and rip something yourself. See you guys later on the next one. No kid, are you? What? It just made it? That was awesome. That was totally unexpected.